Hey guys, so I'm here to film Olivia's 1 week update. I have her here with me and she does have the hiccups, so I hope that's not too distracting while I'm filming. I also have all of the notes on my phone, so if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at, or I'm looking at her because she's so cute. Okay, so this is going to be her 1 week update, and I'm actually going to film a separate 1 week postpartum update for me, and then also a separate labor and delivery story. So if you guys are interested in seeing those, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss them. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So Olivia was born September 22nd at 11:15 a.m. She was 6 pounds 12 ounces and 19.6 inches long. When she was born, she cried right away. She was very awake and alert. She was born at a very baby-friendly hospital, and they actually give you an hour of what they call gift time, and that stands for giving intimate family time. And so for the first hour after she was born, we were just skin to skin, bonding as a family. They didn't take her to do any tests. They didn't give her a bath. She was put right on me right after she was born, and I remember the first thing I said when she was born was, "Oh my gosh, she's so soft," because her skin was so soft. I was just like feeling her shoulders. She still had a little bit of lanugo on her shoulders, and she still does now actually. She was very, very soft. So we had that hour of gift time, and then sorry, she just farted. Okay, so we had an hour of gift time. Are you done? She's moving. Okay, are you done? After her hour, okay, so during her gift time, they wanted us to establish breastfeeding. So I did get her to latch on. She did eat for a little bit. They just want you to like try it, and it's really good after that skin to skin, and if you can get them to do it in the first hour, it's really beneficial for mommy and baby. So after that hour, I think they gave us a little bit longer than an hour. It was probably about an hour and a half. And then they gave her her vitamin K shot and her hepatitis B shot. She only cried for a couple seconds. Daddy went with her. And like I said, the baby-friendly hospital, they do everything in the room with you. Baby stays in the room. They barely ever took her out of the room. I think the only time was to do her hearing test, and that was right before we were discharged. Over 24 hours after she was born. So everything that was done was right there with us. I did go ahead and refuse the erythromycin, which is the eye ointment that they give to the babies after they're born. The reason that they do it is to protect the baby from any STDs that the mother might have when she gives birth vaginally. And I know for a fact that I don't have any STDs, and they also say that it can irritate baby's eyes, and I just decided that she didn't need that. I knew she didn't need that, so I did go ahead and refuse that, but she did get her vitamin K, she did get her Hep B. They also gave her a sponge bath, and then they gave her right back to me. So we were in the hospital for a little over 24 hours, and during that time, she was cluster feeding like crazy because my milk hadn't come in yet. She was just getting the colostrum, and she was eating like every 10 minutes for like 5 minutes at a time. So it was almost constant that she was feeding. And I was always really supportive of breastfeeding. I really wanted to breastfeed her. So she is 11 days old now, and it's actually been going really well, and I think I'll go ahead and talk more about that in my postpartum video. So she had lots of wet and dirty diapers in that first day and night. Lots of meconium coming out for quite a while. I don't think it was until after we got home that she started having regular poops and not those sticky black poops. The first night in the hospital, I think I slept for about 2 hours total because of the fact that she was feeding a lot and the fact that I just couldn't take my eyes off her. She was in a little bassinet type thing that like rolls around. It was just like a clear, I don't really know what you'd call it. It's kind of like a bin, honestly, on top of like a dresser. And I just laid there and stared at her and made sure that she was breathing because, I mean, you know, if you're a first-time parent that they scare the crap out of you and you think your baby's just gonna stop breathing. So, you know, those first few days were really scary for us. It was really hard for me to sleep. We did all of her official paperwork stuff, her birth certificate, her social security. They had to do her newborn hearing test, which, like I said, was the only time they took her out of the room. And then they also did a heel prick at that time. I believe it was for like the newborn screening test, where they test for a bunch of different things for newborns. Different, why are you so squirmy? Different disorders and things that she could have. So then we finally got discharged around 3 o'clock the next day. And we came home that first night. She was still cluster feeding. I didn't sleep at all. And then I believe the next day was when my milk came in. And oh my goodness, I was not expecting that. And they do tell you when your milk comes in, you'll know, and you really will know. So for the first couple of days, and even now a little bit, we've been struggling with me having a really, really fast letdown. And sometimes that causes her to kind of cough and choke when she's feeding. So we've been trying to deal with that. Obviously, I've had some pretty bad engorgement just in the first couple days. It's totally normal. It's painful. I didn't have a whole lot of nipple pain, and I think that's because she had a really good latch from the beginning, and I barely used the lanolin ointment. I never actually used the gel nipple pad things. I've just been using the breast pads, obviously, because I'm leaking. So yeah, we've had to deal with her spitting up a little bit and the coughing during the feeds, but now at 11 days old, we definitely have that more under control. It did scare me a little bit. Sometimes she would just eat too much and, you know, her tummy would be too full, so she'd spit up. Sometimes I just wouldn't burp her long enough. I mean, sometimes I have to burp her for like an hour to get anything out. And that's because I was just really paranoid about her spitting up. I felt like she shouldn't be doing that. I need to burp her more, but it's definitely normal for them to spit up, and we're just getting used to it. And then before, I was pumping before I fed her, just to get some of that fore milk out so that she would get more of the hind milk, and so she wouldn't choke so much when I did let down. But now I just hand express before I feed her, and that works for us. I don't have to do very much of that. So we came home on Wednesday, and Michael was home for the rest of that week through the weekend, and then he went back to work on Monday. But she did have a lot of doctor's appointments the first few days. Like I said, she was home on Wednesday. Her first doctor's appointment was on Friday, and it was actually at a place called Great Starts, which is a clinic in my hospital that is pretty much completely dedicated to breastfeeding. It's a bunch of lactation consultants and people that used to be labor and delivery nurses. And so they know a lot about babies, they know a lot about breastfeeding. And so that first appointment is just to go in and see how baby's feeding. And they weigh the baby before you feed, they weigh the baby after, see how much the baby's getting, and they make sure that you have a good latch and that you're not in a lot of discomfort. And then if things aren't going well, they help you figure out some other options for ways to make it easier to breastfeed. So when we got there, they took one look at Olivia and they said, "That baby looks yellow. We're going to send you to the lab right away, and we're going to get a blood test going to see what her bilirubin levels are." And so we did that, and I believe her levels came back at a 12. And that's a little bit high, but jaundice is totally normal for newborn babies. And they just wanted us to come back the next day, do the same thing, do a blood test on her. And we did that. Her level went up to a 14. The next day, her level was up to a 16. And that day, we went in to see the pediatrician, and she said, "It's just a little bit high, and we want to start some light therapy before it gets too much higher." So they gave us something called a Billy blanket, which is like a mat, and it has these kind of wires running through it, and it puts out this really bright blue light. It kind of looks like, she kind of looked like an alien. Like, it was just a weird, really bright blue light. If you've ever seen, you know, babies with jaundice under the Billy lights, that's basically the same thing, but it's just on a blanket. We just kind of strapped it to her back, and she wore that for 48 hours, and we had to go back every day to get her blood taken to see if her levels were going down. And luckily they did. During those couple days when her levels were going up, she did lose a little bit of weight. Like I said, her birth weight was 6 pounds and 12 ounces, and she got all the way down to 6 pounds and 3 ounces. But by a week old, her Billy level was down to 11, and she was back up to 6 pounds and 10 ounces. So by now, 11 days old, I'm almost completely positive that she is back up to her birth weight, if not exceeding her birth weight. So that's really, really awesome. At this point, she is sleeping about 2 to 3 hours in between feeds. She kind of has her own schedule set. She has like her late afternoon nap, and then she's usually up for a little bit, although it's 3 o'clock and she's sleeping. So she, you know, she's kind of still all over the place, but she does have a little bit of a schedule set. So yeah, and then usually during the day she'll sleep for about 2 hours in between feeds, and then at night she'll sleep for about 3 hours. That's been really good. Her cord stump fell off at 8 days old. They say it takes about 2 weeks. I think it was a little bit early because it did bleed a little bit, and it still does have a little bit of discharge. But I've just been keeping it clean, and we have given her a bath since her cord stump fell off. So it's nice that we don't have to worry about it anymore. We don't have to tuck her diapers down anymore. And she gets to have baths now. She is still in newborn diapers, but she has grown out of all of her newborn clothes. I think she wore newborn clothes for like 3 days. And she is a very long baby. She has very long arms and very long legs. She can kind of still fit into like the short sleeve newborn onesies, but anything that has sleeves or legs, she has to be in 0 to 3 months. And I think she's probably just about to grow out of the newborn short sleeves. Her outfit today is actually newborn, but that's because it's like it's a two-piece. It's a short sleeve shirt and then separate pants, and she can still wear newborn pants. The 0 to 3 pants are a little bit big on her, but pretty much all of her clothes are too wide and then not long enough. So I think that's about it for Olivia's 1 week update. Like I said, I'm going to film a separate 1 week postpartum update from me and then her labor and delivery story. So keep an eye out for those videos on this channel. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys Olivia. She's sleeping. Well, she's kind of sleeping and fussing around. So, I may have to film this separately, but here she is. Here's my little baby. Oh, she's smiling. She looks just like her daddy. She doesn't, what are you doing? I don't think she really has any of my features. She does have straight hair, and her daddy has really curly hair, but we'll see if it stays that way because his hair was really straight when he was born, and then it got really curly, so that may happen with her. She definitely has his hair color because my hair is almost black, and when I was born, my hair was black. And I think she might have my eyes. It does look like she's gonna have brown eyes, so we'll see. Yeah, so her jaundice is definitely going away, and she's just doing really well. She's a really happy baby, and we're very, very lucky for that. So I think that is it for Olivia's 1 week update, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!